Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday coming at you. And I do literally have, again, 15 minutes, 10 minutes to really walk out this door. My name is Allison Hoag. And for those of you who don't know who I am, I have been a makeup artist for nearly 40 years. And really, it has been 40. It's just really hard to say that number out loud. I have made my career working with real women. I found that what I loved about makeup artistry was just how amazing it was to really take care and see the transformation. And when a woman falls in love with what she sees when she looks in the mirror, that was all the juice I needed. I, of course, trained with some of the best makeup artists in the world. I did start some commercial work, but had 2 kids early on, and it was the 90s. And if you didn't have a beeper or were not at your answering machine and had a way to get a babysitter when the photographers called, you were not getting the job, nor were you getting called back again. And I decided that I would hone my love for really working inside of the salon world. And as a result, I really think that one of the best places that women are taken care of is in the salon world. We see the same people over and over. How long have you been seeing your hairdresser? And I learned how to develop a customer clientele. And in the process of all of that, when I was being trained to be this unbelievable makeup artist, I learned about the power of eyebrows. And when I learned about eyebrows, I learned that eyebrows changed your life. And what I mean by that is that eyebrows have the power to communicate expression non-verbally. And they also, when you're doing a shoot, if they're not balanced or properly even to the face, it's the first thing to really screw up an image. And so as a result, when I got trained on this, I said, you know what? I can no longer do anybody's makeup without doing their eyebrows. And it's really curious to me how many makeup artists still don't understand that themselves. And what I really believe is that you can get your eyebrows perfect without having to put any makeup on them. I have never waxed my brows. I became an anti-waxing advocate early on in my career. It not only creates scar tissue when you put hot wax on that area, but it can permanently mess up your shape. And so as a young baby artist, seeing just the annihilation of people's eyebrows, I became a tweeze only eyebrow artist. And as a result, I learned how to grow people's eyebrows back in. So that's just a little bit about me. I've touched over 100,000 people in my career. I actually opened up a makeup studio because I really wanted a safe place for women to learn how to do their makeup. And that became Authentic Beauty. And Authentic Beauty is located in Atlanta. And we have been open for almost 17 years. And we teach makeup lessons. We do eyebrows. We've been best of eyebrows for the past, I don't know, since we opened. I've been the best of best in Allure, being tweeze only, and I'm known for growing people's eyebrows back. And a year ago, I launched a brand called Genuist Beauty, which is a line that is designed for women over 50s. One really great thing about my career is that when I was young, I was taking care of all these women who were in their 50s and I was 16, 17, and I'd be like, why is the skin moving? Why isn't why is the product that says it's anti-line sinking into the lines? And so that became kind of how do I teach my beautiful women how to apply their makeup? And so I've come up with tips and tricks and things. And then I launched Genuist so that I would find the products that are going to work for women over 50. So I've launched 7 or 8 of them, starting with eyebrows to grow their eyebrows back, and also conditioner. Because here's the thing, what I found is that most people don't want to spend more than 10 minutes applying their makeup. You don't want to spend more than 10 minutes applying your makeup, really. You don't want to spend a lot of time. You don't want it to be complicated. I have seen this throughout my entire career, again, working on over 100,000 women. And so what I'm working on is a brand that is going to help every woman over 50. And really, if it works for 50, it's going to work for 20. It's going to work for 30. But I'm testing it on 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and it looks like 90s is what we're going to start testing on as well. So the first couple products that I've come up with are brow products, which again, brows being the most important feature of the face, because if you don't want to do a lot of makeup, then brows become the most important. And then I've come up with something called Smooth Canvas, which I just put on And there's a ton of videos to show you all these different products, so I don't have that much time to go into it. But this is essentially an under eye, I wouldn't even call it a gel. It's a very unusual textured product, but it sits underneath the lines. It fills in, and so that you feels like almost like a glass type finish, and then it brightens and smooths so that when you go to put on concealer, it will not sit in the lines. Anyway, this came out, we sold 500 of them in 6 weeks when we were pre-launching. And you can really just see how this brightens the eye and how smooth that is. And as I get through the application, you're gonna really be able to see that. That is Smooth Canvas. And then the next product, which I'm gonna just talk about this one today because we have all the brow products, is the Tiny Liner. And I will be using this in my application. But the thing about being in this industry for this long is I've made some really beautiful friends, and I have some incredible makeup artist friends. And one of them is my lovely friend, Tim Boucheret, who is Makeup by Tim. He has been, you look up his IMDb, he's done just about everything. He is one of the most fun, glorious humans. And I gave him the Tiny Liner, and he was the makeup artist for the Snow White campaign, and he used it on Snow White. So it's just very incredible. And then I've had just, a couple people tell me that they were using brow pens that we came out with on set. And anyway, it's just, today is a big celebration because the Snow White campaign dropped and we got tagged. Thank you to Tim. So back to my makeup application, I've got Smooth Canvas on. I have in the Revival Brow just to keep my brows conditioned, and I put a little bit of the brow primer. I worked on this formula for about 2.5 years, and it's a flexible hold. It holds the brows in place, and you can see it's not sticky. It's what everybody really has communicated they wanted, and I'm going to be testing a whole bunch of brow gels to be able to show you the difference. Gels dry out your brows. They have alcohol in them, and what people are looking for is for them to be smooth and to be hydrated, and we're not thinking about the hair on our brows like the hair on our head. So I don't think most people will go without conditioning their brows. Conditioning their hair. So now that I preambled all that, I literally have a couple minutes to get ready. So the first thing I'm going to do is what I'm doing also in these videos, if you haven't seen or if you're new to watching my channel, is I am trying other makeup products that we're going to see if they work for women over 50. A lot of these, what I'm trying to do is a grab and grow makeup brand. And so what I'm trying to see is, will they work? Can I pull them up? And can I just pull them out, put them on, and get out of the store? And I have a couple products in the makeup studio. We have been using a lot of different private label brands forever and a day. And again, knowing how to use your products for what you're trying to create, that's something that I talk about a lot, is very important. So, a lot of these products I have curated throughout the years, and I made my foundation that is this 3-in-1 Magic Foundation. And it has really been, the clients wanted it, they paid for it. We've had it in the studio, but now we have so many more products that are available and so much better technology. And you can watch how beautiful. It's not exactly the right color, but it's okay. I'm gonna go on my neck. And then today we have something special in the studio called Champagne and Shadows. And if you follow some on my grid, I've shared some of our images. I have 4 other makeup artists who work with me, and we try to come up with seasonal trends that we look at every year and go, hey, what do we want to launch? And I've talked this week just about how we're not really doing much trends. Okay, so again, this is too much time blending, and this is what I'm trying to avoid with products, is that it takes this long, and makes me sad because I really do like this finish, and I'm not quite sure what the answer would be to speed up this process, but I don't know. See what you think. What do you think? Give me your thoughts. Tell me what you're looking for in a foundation as I'm building this. What I'm looking for is skin looks like skin. We want to have what I call a level 1, 1.5. The foundation needs to be buildable, needs to look like skin, right? And it needs to be easy. Like none of this 12-step freaking process, right? Okay. I do really love this finish. Okay. So in my world, especially for my busy women, it's all about working the color around. So We're also losing our color in our lips. There's so many people come to me and go, what is going on with my lips? As we get older, we lose this lip color. So we have a custom blended lipstick station in my studio where we actually make lipstick. This is one of the lipsticks that comes from my lipstick station. And I just love this color. I'm wearing a pink dress tonight for Champagne and Shadows. So Champagne and Shadows is going to be from 6 to 9 at Authentic Beauty. I'm not doing all this precise stuff. This is not about precision. This is about how fast can I look great and get out the door. Okay, got the lip on. And next, I'm gonna tightline. Then I'm gonna have some very specific videos that I talk about all of these techniques and explain why they're so important. I've talked about them in other videos, but if you are over 50, this is one technique. It is not hard. You just open up your eye, you stare straight ahead, and you get it on and you squeeze really tight. Okay. Then, under the brow, we're gonna highlight. And I have no idea today where the one that I really love is, so I'm gonna use my backup. And again, part of this, my process is, for the love of God, just trying to find the products that I have. I have thousands of lab samples. You can see some of the craziness of this. So we're evening out that skin tone that's underneath the brow. And when you make that softer, it just automatically levels up your appearance. You know, when you're doing more makeup, you can go and you can add shadow on top of that if you want. So, you know, I'm looking for a product that is going to be thin under there but cover, and then it doesn't create texture, right? Texture is not our friend as we get older. Speaking of no texture, this is an incredible innovation. It's a gel like finish. There's a couple of these that I have been working with, that I've been practicing, that I'm like, these are not a bad texture. Again, this is what we're looking for. Can you use it with a brush? Can you use it with your finger? I think when it comes to blush and you're in a hurry, I'm a fan of being able to work this in. If you're somebody that wears powders, this is not going to be the best product for you, but I really am trying to impress upon my people. I know those of you who think that, you know, a certain product that's out there that is a powder, I don't care how finely milled it is, it's going to sit in your lines. This is a makeup artist of how many years working on 100,000 people. I haven't just worked on some random celebrity. I've actually touched 100,000 people. Let me tell you, when I tell you don't wear much powder on your face, I'm telling you don't wear much powder on your face. One of the things I get complimented on all the time is my skin. So there we go. So this I can't really show you too much of. This is a cream, and I am a big fan of, I am trying to find an incredible formula for eyes. A liquid shadow. So this is very bold and very dramatic, but again, I'm wearing this pink dress. This is very similar to the base of the look that we're using inside of the studio. So I know this is a lot and very dramatic, but what I'm looking for is, can I blend her out? Can I just sweep it across my eye, use a brush and blend, and is it gonna last all day and not crease? So today, we're gonna see. I mean, I decided to just have a little fun this morning. Pink is rather dramatic. My clients are going to be like, Allison, what the hell did you do? But this is what I want to kind of show is, if you just add one eyeshadow, one bold eyeshadow, and you spend the 3 minutes in blending, which is really, I have now to add my tiny liner and my mascara and call it a day. Yeah, that's pretty cool. It actually is blending absolutely gorgeous. I would not have thought that that would have done that. Wow. Incredible. I wonder if they can give me a matte version. Not bad. That was very dramatic, and we caught that on camera. I freaking love it. I love it. What do you think? I mean, this is not something I would wear any day, and if I was not having a big special event, I definitely would not have put that on, because I'm going to get my makeup team to actually fix me a little later, and we'll catch that on camera. But it's staying. Wow. And it's blending. Again, very dramatic. Let's see what it does in about an hour. I'm kind of getting all over. Oh, you know why I decide to try experimental things as I'm getting at the door. But I think, You know, how many of us buy shit? We get home and we're like, okay, what's that? And then you go to use it and you're like, the bronzer I used yesterday that spit all over my face. So funny. Okay. I do kind of look like a crazy little alien with these pink eyes, but that's okay. I'm a makeup artist. And makeup comes off, people. That's the funny part about it, right? Okay, so this is the tiny liner. And that's the other part, is that whatever I choose to add to this collection has to be able to play well with our other products. So the tiny liner is the width of an eyelash. This is what got used on Snow White, which is so cool. He said he wanted this delicate effect, and this was perfect for it. But here's the other part. If your eyes are starting to hood, right? You can't use a regular eyeliner. You can't use those regular tips. You need to have it delicate, and you need to be able to put it on and have it be really soft and really smooth. And I think that does the trick. Okay, last thing. This is a new experimental mascara. I have found one that I actually love, and I love our formula. My challenge is that I'm trying to make it clean and trying to make everything that I use Credo standard. And so that limits me, because I don't want to have anything in our products that is going to harm my beautiful clients. And that has been my stand. And I have a whole long story about what clean beauty means to me. I have been part of this movement for most of my career. I was an Aveda girl, and back before then, you know, I'm just very concerned for people and what they put into their bodies and what they put on their makeup. And you know what? Everybody can make their own personal choices, but I know for me, I don't want to make a makeup line that could hurt somebody. I don't want to give anybody a product. So everything we have in Authentic Beauty, we look up every single ingredient, and I don't want it to be carcinogenic. I don't want it to be bioaccumulative, and I just need to add just a little bit more blush. You can see how my blush, in some soon episode, I will be talking about level 1, level 2, level 3, but it's about balance. And when I added that lip color, I just needed to add a little bit more cheek lip color, lip and eye. So there. And then I'm definitely going to be adding some concealer on this one. Okay, you know, something different. Every now and again, it's fun to play. What I'm really trying to do with this eyeshadow, though, is I want to see if it continues to get everywhere or if it stays put and if it settles into my lines. I'm not really worried about the color, you know, even though I was like, okay, I'll just try it because I'm in pink today and I'm about to wear this pink look from Champagne and Shadows. But I wanted to see what this formula did. So we'll see if it irritates me. And I mean formula, not color, right? So I'm evaluating what it's doing. And then this concealer, I have just determined that I just really love this concealer. And this is one that's another testing one. And I'm taking the leftovers. I know that Sarah Jane Hughes talks about using, but I call them leftovers. That's actually my term that I've used with my clients, because once you've, you know, used the product, you have the leftovers on the brush. So I'm just taking the leftovers. Okay, I got a client in 15 minutes. I have, and you guys, Grace is not my middle name. Actually, that's what makes it so fun, is that, you know, I really am just one of you. I'm still just a girl trying to get on her makeup to get out the door. And there you have it. Mwah.